Think you know Ninja songs? Old school or new school? Stand a chance to win big on Gusto Guess the Song. To be a part of this, call the numbers on your screen right now. Come on board and let's do things the Gusto way.
Hello guys, welcome to Gusto Reactions once again. Thank you so much for all this liking, sharing, subscribing, telling your friends about what we do right at Gusto TV. Big Lala is very much in the building today, and of course Bella Shmurda is right here, on the plate today to actually dissect and discuss and do every other thing. Big Lala, you're very much welcome to the show today. Bella Shmurda is in the US right now, having like a mini tour. 2 projects out: High Tension 1, High Tension 2. Of course, a lot of people believe that it's time for him to actually go on, on a tour in the US and everything. That was all over you, right?
Well, I don't think the tour was it was something they planned. I think it was just something impromptu now. Because apparently it was meant to be in Ghana. Yeah. And then all of a sudden that didn't work out. Then he decided to
went to
the US. And then he's doing a club thing at the moment, which is dope, dope for his brand, so that at least people feel him in different places. But as bad, some people who have never heard of Bella Shmurda, they are going to come out. I mean, you're going to know about him from him just going around in those clubs.
Bella Shmurda has dropped the High Tension 2.0, the other time Dangbana Republic, and of course Bella Shmurda. That is, very much in court and everything. Now, a lot of people believe that this project wasn't as good as the very first project.
Well, I'm not going to, toe that line, because the very first project was underrated. A lot of people still didn't, they still didn't listen to that project as much. So nobody can say, oh, the first one was better than the second one. Because it was after the first one that I started dropping some singles, and then the stuff started rising, started featuring on some really, really dope songs, and that was what Bella Shmurda what it is today. It wasn't any of those songs on that high tension 1.0. It wasn't. It was going to be factual. Then the second one came again. I think Bella is just tending to seem like he's a singles guy. Someone that can give you good singles, but project wise, perhaps is not just the guy to deliver any sort of project that would bang like that.
Looking at all of these songs out there, it's out there. There's World, Soja Go Far Away, Lako, Rush, Party Next Door, Champion, Lala. According to Bella Shmurda, this project has over 100 million streams.
Okay.
Now, I didn't want to start coming up with a couple of people saying, oh, it is true or it is not true or anything like that and everything. Do you think this project has this amount of streams?
Well, firstly, in the world of digital streaming, audio mark and the likes, anything is possible. Especially when there's audio marks in the mix.
Okay.
I'm not going to be surprised that audio marks is responsible for at least more than half of these numbers, because Rush was a good song. Audio mark did good numbers. If he didn't do at least 10 million.
Is Rush part of the?
Yes, Rush is there. Rush, Party Next Door, they're there.
There's no Rush there.
There's Rush.
Oh, okay.
Rush, Party Next Door. Those are the ones that actually performed the most on this EP.
Yeah.
And they've been released prior to the EP came out. So obviously they will take a lot of these numbers. In the world of audio mark, it's also possible. Then also there's YouTube there. In the world of YouTube, you're going to count the streams on the audio. You count the streams on the video. Also count, you see Party Next Door has 2 different videos on YouTube. So as some other tracks on there. So it's possible in the world of audio mark. I just wish when people make this sort of announcements, they break it down for us.
I was going to ask you, Ella, what exactly do you think about artists that just come and say, that come up with numbers and just and everything? Bam! 1 billion streams, 10 million streams, 200 million streams and everything, without actually breaking it down. What exactly, are you comfortable with those kind of things?
Well, people do it, and sometimes these guys have no reason to lie, because some of these things you can verify. You can verify them. What are the biggest platforms? his biggest platforms: Audiomack, YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, and co. It's all these things are usually you can't verify Apple Music unless they let you in and give you access. But these other ones you can always see. Even Google Play, you go there, you see the amount of streams the EP has had. So we can check it out and see if it's close or not. Spotify and Apple numbers may not be too far apart. Because Apple Music will obviously be bigger than, but at least you can have a percentage and just mark it up. So it's something people can verify. If he says it is, he has no reason to lie that he hasn't gotten 100 million. But the bulk of it has to come from the earlier release songs, Rush and Party Next Door.
Yeah. So by this, are we going to say that this EP or this project has been a successful project for him?
Well, numbers wise, you can say that, but in terms of impact, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling the impact of High Tension 2.0 anywhere. It can get a lot of these numbers via digital support from these platforms. It doesn't necessarily mean that yes, it's the. I mean, Bella Shmurda of late last year, who was topping charts, appearing on several songs. Like it looked like it was almost the new Amale, right? All of a sudden, there's High Touch on 2.0, which is a new project. It's not even up to 2 months old, and it's nowhere near the charts. Like the songs on there are not doing as much as the earlier singles. So yeah, that's what I think.
So finally, what I was thinking in my head was, so what do we say about streaming numbers vis-a-vis a successful project? Does streaming numbers actually determine a successful project?
No, it doesn't. A successful project that is successful, you feel it. Although one can lead to the other. If it's successful, then you would see it from the streaming numbers. Or sometimes you see the streaming numbers, you're like, oh, you should really get more than this. But you're feeling the presence everywhere else. When it comes to streaming numbers, they're like a camouflage. It can tell you two things. If you get the streaming numbers organically. I'm not saying without support from any of these platforms. Like majority of people that are listening to it, they are your fans. It's not like they are stumbling upon on playlists or things like that. You get then fine. You can say you've been, but if majority of streaming numbers comes from playlist placements, banner like banner placements and things like that from the platforms. I don't know how you want to say that. So at the end of the day, it just looks like it's being thrown at people's faces, and whether they like it or not, they are going to listen.
Anyway, so we wish Bella Shmurda all the best. Of course, massive congrats to him. Guys, let's have your thoughts on that one. Bella Shmurda getting, that very, very huge milestone. 100 million plus streams on the Dangbana Republic, and of course Bella Shmurda's latest EP, that one, High Tension 2.0. Yes, let's have your thoughts on that one. Also, tell us about the streaming numbers vis-a-vis a successful album. What exactly do you think a successful album, does it have to do with streaming numbers or impact or whatever? What exactly is it? Let's have your comment below. Of course, we'll be ready to respond to some on your comment. We'll see you guys on the next one.